Echo and HarperAudio present Run for the Hills, a novel by Kevin Wilson, performed by Marin Ireland. For Kristen, my sister. Prologue. Coalfield, Tennessee, 1982. Mad stood beside her father, close enough that nothing he did would escape her attention. On the farm, if you wanted to know anything, you had to be watching all the time. She walked with him along the stalks of sorghum as he clipped the grain heads off the crop and dropped the bundles of seeds into the basket she was carrying. "We'll give those to the chickens," he told her, "and they'll love it." "Could we eat it?" she asked him. She wanted to eat everything. "It wouldn't be that great, but yeah, we could," he said. She thought about it. "I guess I'll give it to the chickens." He then stripped the stalks of leaves and clipped the bottoms until he had an armful of the sorghum stalks. This was new to both of them, but her dad wanted to test it out for the farm. He'd seen some Mennonites in the next county run their sorghum mill, and he liked that it was pretty resistant to drought and didn't need much care and would be a good ground cover crop. Mad liked corn better, the sound it made as you brushed by the tall stalks, and she loved cornbread. But she knew, or her parents had taught her, that you had to be open to change, because you never knew what the weather would bring, what the earth would allow. It was not something she cared for, relying on anyone else, hoping she got what she wanted. Back with the chickens, Mad threw the grain heads like grenades toward the birds, and she delighted in the way they hopped away from the impact before running back to inspect the offering. "They like it," she told her father, who nodded. "Sorghum is good chicken feed," he said. At the shed, she watched as her father fed the stalks through the second-hand cane press he had recently bought, the stalks flattening out and splintering, dry as a bone on either end. And Mad collected those too, wondering what her dad would do with them later. After a while, they had nearly a gallon of juice, which greatly pleased her father and underwhelmed Mad, who was always disappointed that the labor involved, all the waiting and cultivating, never quite added up to be what she hoped. The juice was bright green like celery, and he poured it into a big pot to let it settle before they began to reduce it and make syrup. "What is it going to taste like?" she asked him. And he told her that she'd had sorghum syrup before, in the apple cakes an older woman sold at the market, but Mad said she wanted to know what their sorghum would taste like. "Like the sun, kind of," her dad offered. "I'm not a poet, Mad." "Sweet?" she asked. "A sweet, sunny day?" "And bitter," he offered. "Sweet and bitter is best, and we'll pour it on biscuits and cornbread." "But it's going to be a while, isn't it?" she asked, already knowing the answer. Her father nodded. "Longer than you'd like, but shorter than you'd think." Once the cooking started, it would require constant stirring to get it to the right consistency, so Mad and her father sat on the front porch and she leaned against him. Her mother was in town to pick up some groceries and visit a friend who was sick, so the two of them listened to the sound that swirled around them in the valley. She felt most at peace when all three of them were together, but she did cherish these moments with her father, who was harder for her to fully understand. Her mom was open and kind and had an abundance of joy, but her father seemed to always be thinking, the gears in his brain forever turning, and it fascinated Mad. She wondered how much of what was in his head was dedicated to her, and it was nice when it was just the two of them, and she could see him consider her as she was, regard her as someone who deserved his attention. It was fall, the air cooling, and bird calls echoed across the trees through the valley. "One day," her father suddenly said, "you'll be making syrup with your own kids." "You'll be making syrup with my kids," she told him, "and I'll be in bed and you'll bring me pancakes with sorghum." "Oh, okay, that works too," he said. It was quiet between them, and then her father said, "I don't know why I said that. Don't feel like you have to do anything for me or think about the future. Just enjoy this. Okay, Mad?"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?